guys, how are you doing? Welcome to Life with Angel. Hope you're doing great. Today I was going to talk about what I like to eat now that I'm pregnant. Alright, so today I'm going to talk about what I like to eat as a pregnant woman. And I will say that with every pregnancy, my cravings have shifted. So there's different theories on coffee. What I've heard from my sources that I've gone to is that it's okay to still continue to have caffeine, but you want to have it at a smaller dosage. So the kind that I have found that I like to drink right now is called Four Sigmatic. It's mushroom coffee mix with lion's mane. So this has about half the caffeine. It's an instant coffee, and I'm a big coffee girl. I love the fancy kinds, but in order to be good to my baby, I've cut back on caffeine. So it comes in a little packet, and I just add hot water to it, and I love it. Again, I'm a big coffee girl, but I do think this tastes wonderful, and it has about half the caffeine, so I'm still getting some of the benefits without it being too much. So I usually have one of these in the morning, and I find either coconut milk or almond milk or some kind of healthy clean creamer I'll put in with it with some drops of stevia. And so I have that in the morning. And then typically, I used to love this brand, mint chocolate chip. When I'm not pregnant, mint chocolate chip is my absolute favorite. But when I'm pregnant, I like more bland things for whatever reason. So right now, my favorite is this flavor here called vanilla shortbread. And these are Bulletproof brand collagen protein bars. Collagen is great for your skin, and it's gonna help you not get stretch marks. So it's good to find ways to get collagen into your diet. But it's full of protein. It's keto, I believe it's keto friendly, but I'm not keto right now, but it is low carb. And it's clean ingredients, and let's see, how much protein is in it? We have 12 grams of protein and 2 grams of sugar. So it's pretty good. So it's yummy. It tastes sort of like a cookie. So I usually in the morning, I'll have some of the supplements my husband recommends. I'll do a new video on that one next week. But I usually have this and one of these, and that's my breakfast. Okay. So for lunch, in between breakfast and lunch, I get hungry typically. And so I'm trying to stack up on protein because I have a growing baby inside of me. This is a good go-to on the go. It is a meat stick, and the brand that I like is Paleo Valley. It is 100% grass-fed beef, and this flavor is the original. I like the original and I believe it's called summer garlic sausage. Those are my favorites, but they also have like a teriyaki flavor, a jalapeno flavor, so there's different flavors, and usually I'll have one or two of these a day. This is gluten-free, and there's no nitrates added, except for those naturally occurring in the celery juice and sea salt. So it's just really good ingredients. We trust this brand, we trust this company. Great snack on the go. Another good thing I like is cottage cheese. Sounds kind of weird. I couldn't eat dairy before, but I'm eating dairy right now. I'm doing well with it. So we get some organic, clean brand of cottage cheese. That's a good protein on the go. So just try to think of creative ways to get a protein on the go. Another snack that I like, either in the morning or in the afternoon, it's Paleo Valley, and it's a superfood bar made with grass-fed bone broth protein. This particular flavor is yummy. It's called pumpkin spice, but you'll see here it's loaded with nutrient-dense superfoods, excellent source of protein and fiber, cold processed, gluten-free and grain-free, no preservatives or additives, and it's non-GMO. So it just looks like this, and it has, let's see, 10 grams of protein, so not quite as much, but still, it's a great pickup source. It's clean ingredients. It tastes absolutely delicious. This one has more of a chewy texture to it. So I don't know why, but in this pregnancy, I'm craving soup every day for lunch. So you'll see in a previous video of mine, my favorite salad, but ever since I've been pregnant, I don't crave salads anymore. I'll still eat them, but I don't crave them like I used to. So I've been craving soup. So I was eating store-bought soup on a daily basis, and some brands that I found that were better. Amy's, this is a chunky vegetable soup. They have a couple flavors that I like. This is one of them. They do use a non-BPA lining. However, it's still not the best because it's in a can, and there's tomatoes in it, and tomatoes are so there's still other chemicals. Even though it's non-BPA, it still is gonna have other chemicals. So cans aren't ideal, but this is a much better brand of soup, It is USDA organic, and it is going to be gluten-free, so no GMOs it says, so it's definitely a better choice if you crave soup like me. Another brand I found, I get these at our local Kroger grocery store. This is called Safe Harvest grain-free and gluten-free chicken noodle soup, and I had this my first time yesterday. I've had a few flavors this company makes. This is one of the flavors, and it's paleo, whole 30 approved, made with bone broth, and it's grain and gluten-free. And I actually add a little bit of broth to my soup sometimes just to make it go further, because this is just a small little bowl. But this is good. I don't know if you can see, it has carrots, and they actually use hearts of palms as their noodles. So it's a cool idea that they have there. Chunks of chicken, I see onion, mushrooms. It's very tasty, it's very good. Another brand that I like that's store-bought is the Kettle and Fire. I ran out of my favorite soup they make. It's the broccoli and cheddar, and it's delicious if you can have dairy. But this one is just to show the brand and it comes in a box. We love this brand. We are big fans. We get this every month. My daughter actually, when she needed more to supplement my milk, we'd give her some of this bone broth, and she used to love it. So we're big fans of this. But this is the broth, but this company sells yummy soup flavors. So these are some ideas. And then I usually get some crackers. These are the crackers we have currently in the house. Simple Mills is one of our go-to brands. They are clean ingredients, they are gluten-free, and like these ones here are the sprouted seed crackers with the flavor is everything. So kind of like those everything bagels. They have a seed blend, which is flax, sunflower, hemp, and chia, tapioca starch, cassava flour, organic sunflower oil, organic onion, organic garlic, sea salt, citrus flour, and rosemary for the freshness. So it's pretty cool. It's pretty clean. They have a bunch of flavors. And so usually I'll have soup and crackers for my lunch, kind of simple. But one thing that I started doing is making homemade soup. And it sounds a little intimidating, but it's actually not so bad. And that way I would use these as my base, these Kettle and Fire bone broths. What I do is I dice up whatever I want. So typically I'll make it vegetable soup. So I'll dice up carrots and some potatoes. Potatoes aren't very healthy, but you know, I like them in soup. So the harder type vegetables first, and I'll saute them in some butter at the bottom of a big pan. At the bottom of a big pan like this, a big pot. Again, this is stainless steel. I think I've talked about that in one or two other videos. It's important that you get good cooking ware. And yeah, I'll saute that a few minutes, and then I'll add in the bone broth and whatever. You just dice up vegetables. There's really, soup doesn't have to be intimidating. You just dice up whatever you like. So I typically get creative and add whatever I'm in the mood for. Sometimes I'll throw in frozen vegetables so I don't have to dice them up. And I usually do get some of the chunky tomatoes. I look for a can that's BPA-free lining, but I love tomatoes when I'm pregnant. And then I saute, I cook up some ground beef, kind of like just throw it in there. You cook it up, and then you throw it in there with all the juices, and then you just add spices. You don't even have to follow a certain recipe. I know it sounds hard, but it's actually a really easy thing to make. I usually just I just start adding, and then I taste it. So salt, pepper, rosemary, thyme, basil, oregano, garlic powder. I just play around with it. It's really hard to mess up soup. So that's something, and what I do is I make a huge pot, and then I eat it through the week. And so what happens if you boil it, each time I heat it up, I'll usually get a ladle and I'll get out a couple scoops and put it in a smaller size pan or a pot. And what happens is when it boils, as you heat it up, if there's any bacteria that grow, it'll boil it off, so you're safe. So that's one good thing about boiling. And the other thing the reason I use a pot instead of the microwave, we don't use microwaves in our house because it kills off some of the bad it kills off some of the nutrients, and it actually changes the food. The chemistry of the food changes, and it causes some free radicals. And I don't really know what that means. I just know that it's bad, and I trust my husband. And so we don't use our microwave. We use it for food storage in this house. It's kind of funny. If you want me to write out the recipe, I can, but I want to encourage my viewers to get creative and not feel held back, because sometimes as you're getting into healthy cooking, it can feel daunting and you want to be perfect. One thing I learned is it's a lot of experimentation and it's a lot of trial and error. And so with soup, you really can't mess it up. You just let it boil and then just simmer it a few hours and let the vegetables get soft. And then you just flavor it to perfection of your choice. It's really easy, it's really simple. And if it is hard for you, no worries. We'll help you find some great recipes, or I'll write out my recipe if you'd like. I know we're all gifted in different ways, but this is what I love to eat. For dinner, I vary it up every day depending on my mood and what my kids like and what my husband likes, what my au pair likes. So we kind of change it up, but typically there's always going to be a protein source, a clean protein, whether it's hamburgers or whether it's chicken, sometimes salmon, sometimes those are our staples, I would say. But we varied up, and then we always have vegetables. That's a big thing we always look for. So a lot of our common ones we'll make in our house is steamed broccoli, or steamed cauliflower, sometimes steamed carrots, steamed peas, steamed green beans. You'll notice I steam things a lot because it's so easy. You just stick it. We have one like this. You add water, about 1/3 of the way full of water in the pot, and then you get a steamer like this, pour the vegetables in that are frozen, and then cover it up until they're soft. It's so easy that way. We found some beef hot dogs. Applegate brand in your local Kroger will sell 100% grass-fed beef hot dogs, which was a cool thing to discover. So we always want to make sure we have a protein source, a vegetable source or two, and good fats. So whether it's lots of butter, olive oil, avocados, olives, there's different ways you can achieve that, but it's always good to get some good fat and for the optimal health of mama and baby. And then I throw in things for fun, like we found Against the Grain is a brand out there that makes some dinner rolls in the frozen section that are grain-free. Just discovered that, those are yummy. And sweet potato fries. Those are a good thing to throw in there. Another good thing we might throw in is cauliflower mashed potatoes. Those are on Dr. Jocker's website, the recipe for those. I talked about those in another video. But yeah, we like to have a protein staple, vegetable staple, and something that feels like a carb, even if it's not a carb. Whether it's sweet potato fries, cauliflower, mashed potatoes, a roll, or simple meals. There's yummy breads you can make. So yeah, we just try to be creative. When I'm pregnant, I'm not strict about being keto, but I still try to be a little lower carb than the average person, just so I can stay trim, and most of my weight goes to my belly. But yeah, so these are just some ideas of what I eat in this pregnancy. Every pregnancy is different. This may sound gross to you, and that's okay, but leave comments about what you like to eat when you're pregnant, or what you would have questions about as far as how do I make this healthy. Leave comments and I can help answer those. And be encouraged on this journey. Do your best. Don't try to be too hard on yourself. Mamas and pregnant women tend to be hard on themselves. So try to be forgiving and gracious to yourself, but try to also take care of yourself, because we're not just taking care of our bodies, we're taking care of our baby's body too. So God bless. Give a thumbs up, give a like and a subscribe, and we'll talk to you next week.